Squatting, one of the most basic, underrated movements, but when you finally get it right, and I mean really get it right, it changes everything. You feel stronger, you move better, your joints stop complaining, even things like digestive complaints, pelvic floor weakness, back pain, and hemorrhoids can all clear up when you do this right. So today, I'm going to teach you exactly how to master the squat, from the absolute beginner to some more advanced variations that most people skip. And I'll break down each step clearly so that no matter where you're starting from, you'll finish this video squatting better than 90% of people in the gym. Plus, I'm going to show you a simple trick that you can get 27 variations of a squat so that you can get stronger way faster than by doing those boring traditional squats that most people do in the gym. This is the very first step on your way to squat mastery. I call it the chair tap. And all you need for the chair tap is a chair. And in this case, I've just rolled up my ankles here so you can see my feet, because this is where we start. All right, so a good squat starts with the foundation. And we don't want the knees collapsed down and in and the arches collapsed. Okay, so what we're looking for here is a way to keep the arches up. And this is a great move. I want you to go into the outside blade of your feet. From here, take your big toe mound and your big toe down to the ground. At the same time, I want you to push your heels out to the side. So you're actually really lifting your arches up, but keeping your toes here down on the ground. And you're activating your glutes. So in this position, it's actually very easy to start the squat. Okay? And so what we have, essentially, we want to go from this position here with our bum on the chair to standing up and then reverse it. Okay? So from here, we can stand, set the feet, heels pushing out, toes pushing down, take the hips backwards to touch the chair, and then stand back up, okay? I want you to think about your hips moving backwards and not your knees moving forwards. So imagine someone's got a lasso and they're tying it around your middle and they're pulling backwards. That's what's happening. You're being pulled backwards first. To counterbalance that, I want you to take your hands forward and also keep your lower back in that neutral position. And by neutral, I don't mean flat, I don't mean extended, I mean just neutral, that little lumbar arch just there in that nice position. So your hips are going backwards, your hands are counterbalancing, you're going down to feel the chair, and then you're standing back up. The weight should be in your heels and your heels should be pushing outwards. All right, so from a slightly different direction, it looks like this. We're going to go to the outside blade of our feet, toes down, hips go backwards, knees go even out to the side just a little bit, hands counterbalance, and then standing back up. This is a very simple squat, and it's actually, interestingly, if you look at me sit down, it's actually a way many people sit down anyway, but just with a slight exaggeration of the hands. So you could actually practice this simply by sitting in a chair. Now, many indigenous people and in different cultures squat further down, and that's something we can work on as well, because that really opens up that hip and gets it to be more mobile. So how do we do that? Well, we can grab hold of something in the house. So you can hold onto the back of a chair, for example, or you can hold onto a door handle. That's one of my favorites because you can hold on either side. Or in this case, I'm going to hold onto this piece of wood here and vary between the door and the wood. What we want to do here is take the hips backwards. Now, for people who looked at the first exercise and they said, that's impossible, this exercise will be very possible for you. All you're doing is letting your hips slide backwards whilst keeping a lumbar arch. So if you've got back pain, you've got scoliosis, anything like that, this is going to be a fantastic first step for you to work on your squat depth. When I used to have a movement center, we actually got people doing this for about 6 months sometimes before they could get down below 90 degrees with their hips. Okay, so over time, your hips are going to travel down to 90 degrees. You're going to be able to keep that lumbar arch. And then you're going to be able to traction your back. So I'm pulling backwards with my hips, keeping my arches nice and high, knees go wide, and then I can end up in a full and nice deep squat. All right, this position, for some people, they can hang out there all day. In fact, it's even a working position as well as a relaxation position for some cultures. But for us in the West, it's generally quite difficult. But I want you to work on this if you can. So heels out, being pushed to the side, big toes down, tension in your glutes, hips go backwards, hands go forwards, keep working those hips backwards, pull your knees apart until you can get down into a nice deep squat. This won't be relaxing for many people, but for some it will be, and for some it's going to take a long time to get here. But I want to show you a great tip to take your squat to the next level, something that many athletes and many coaches don't even know about. And I was taught this by Professor Gary Gray from the Gray Institute, And I think it's a really good way to add extra mobility to your hips, ankles, and even your lower back to take care of back pain and all the things that I mentioned earlier. We're going to work out how to move our feet in a simple way to get 27 different squats. So I want you to follow along with me if you can, okay? Firstly, stand nice and narrow, go into the blades of your feet, big toes come down, pushing your feet apart. So we've got a nice tension in our hips here. We're going to do a narrow squat, then a slightly wider squat, and a slightly wider squat, okay? So after that, we're actually going to work on moving one foot forward, and then another movement that our hips can do is internal rotation and external rotation. So let's just start with the narrow squat. So heels being pushed apart, knees go down. I'm only going to go 90 degrees in this follow along here. Next, we're going to go to shoulder width apart. Same thing with the feet, nice high arches, shoulder width apart. That's number 2. Then we're going to go wide. This gets a lot harder in this wide position to keep the knees out as much as possible. 3. All right, we're going to repeat that, but this time we're actually going to turn the feet inwards because this is another motion that's available to the hips, and it's something that we lose as we get older. All right, this will be slightly harder for most of you. So 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to do the same motion with the feet turned outwards, and some of you will find this a little bit easier. 7, 8, 9. Good. So when we walk, we move one foot forward or the other foot forward. We rotate inwards a little bit and we rotate outwards a little bit. So that's why we're doing this squat matrix. All right, now we're going to take that 1 foot forward. And we're going to go narrow. 10, 11, 12. This really emphasizes the back foot, and you'll feel this in your back ankle as you do it. 13, I'll just change my feet. 14, 15. Now, if you're following along and you're pretty smart, you'll guess this. We're going to go internal rotation now. Right foot forward. 16, 17, 18. Change legs. 19, 20, 21. Good. Last one now, last ones. Feet turn outwards, narrow. 22, 23, 24. Change legs. 25, 26, and the last wide one, 27. Okay, so 27 position lunge matrix designed to get maximum mobility into your hips. If you want to take this to the next level, take a pair of dumbbells in your hands, away you go. And if you're super fit and strong, you could even put a barbell on your back and go through that whole matrix as a warm-up to maybe even lifting a little bit heavier in your squats. If you found value in this video and you want to learn more things that you can do to help your back and scoliosis, like this squat, then check out this video. Now, what I talk about there isn't just theory. It's the same method I've used to help teens and adults reduce their curve and improve their posture and move with more confidence. You'll learn what to focus on what to avoid, and how to get real results without relying on, outdated advice. So if you don't watch this, you can just click the link in the description below, watch the video, and if you like it, maybe we can work together in the future.